Good morning. Today is the 23rd of April and this is the Test Valley Motor Enthusiast Drive It Day run. We're just going to take a look around and see the sort of cars that are going on the run before we actually leave. I might get information wrong, viewers, I might fall over and everything like that. You know how it goes with these videos. So first of all, we've got this very nice British Racing Green 2001 MGF. 2001 was last year for these. This is a sort of late facelift one. If it was a 51 it would be right at the end, but it's actually on a Y, so it's a late one, but it's not one of the last. And we've got this very, very nice 81 Triumph TR8. I think the body kit on this is a Grinnell body kit, actually. I bet that's very fast, actually. It's even got this kind of sort of roll cage in it and some seats for around something else. Those of you who are into the old called Volkswagens will like this. This is one of the first cars I ever saw from the Test Valley Motor Enthusiasts. It's a bay window Volkswagen. I think it's a 72. And I think this is an actual Devon conversion. It's not a Camper Devon. Oh, we've got a friend inside. Hello. Hello. Must get myself one of those pieces of paper which tell me where I'm actually going. That could be interesting if I don't have one. Some people in the club aren't actually taking Classic today. They're taking one of the modern cars, but this Riley 1.5 is certainly not modern. I can't remember actually what mark this is. They did make 3 marks of Riley 1.5. Very similar to the Wolseley 1500 and both based on the Morris Minor. Came out around, I think, 57 and continued to 65. No, this one doesn't actually say. It's in really, really nice condition. One of the things you can see in here is, as fitted to the earlier Minors, until about 64 it's got the 3-spoke steering wheel. So a load of new people have arrived as well, so I'm going to keep going. Quite a few MGAs on the run this time. I think it's 3 MGAs that there are this time. This one's a 1600. Do apologise for that vibration, but I should turn the radio unit off before I started filming, shouldn't I? What we do like, though, viewers, is this one seems to have a beige leather interior, which obviously meets with my approval. 1600 is one of the later type of MGAs. That and the infamous twin cam. Also got the successor here, we've got the BGT. Now this is, I think, a rub bumper conversion. If you look at the seats inside, we can down the dials. Yeah, it's a later one. It's had the chrome bumpers. I think it's about 1979. This one, actually, from memory. Very nice colour. I like that. And then we've got a Skoda Rapid, not the one from the sort of mid 2010s. An old Rapid. This is, I think, an 89. It's actually got a local plate to this area. Those are dealer plates when the car probably sold second hand in Andover way back when. So it's a 136 Rapid, this one. And they aren't very common. Not very common at all. So yes, just before the Fabric came in, I think, around 89. This Rolls Royce dates from 1930. Previously, when I've seen it, it's had the hood off it. I think it's a 2025 from memory. It's so old that if you look at the information on these, you don't really get the full information. It just says Rolls Royce type unknown. But it's very good to see something like this, particularly it's actually raining today. I'm afraid that Land Rover is not going to be part of the video because I'm afraid, viewers, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. What we do talk about is this, I think this is Sandglow Wolseley 6. It's a 72, it's the first year they actually made these. I think these are Rover SD1 wheels actually on this. They're very, very rare, these. They did make them manual and auto. It's actually got a purple interior. Right, I'm just going to get a route card. Hold on a second. Okay, viewers, I've now got my route card, and we will continue with what we started. 1966 Humber Scepter. For the first generation Scepter, this is a wider late one, a 1725. I think they call these, the information sheet might tell me, yeah, it's a Mark II they call these. Unlike the Super Minx and the similar Singer Vogue, the rear window line of this stayed the same all the way through production. The Super Minx and the Vogue had a different roof line by this stage. Also got a sort of Dodge Chevaux here. It's a sort of about 1980-81 Spot Special Edition. This will be a 602, I think, by this stage. And also we've got the little sort of bumper bars on this, which is quite sensible. Got a Lomax here, which is actually also similar to a 2CV. They're actually based on a 2CV. And you can see here, it's got Q plates on it and things, but it says Citroen Car Club on there, and I think it's a 2CV gearbox. I wouldn't really want to do the run in that today, but someone's braver than I am. 7475 Triumph Stag. I think this is a Mark II Stag. I get really confused what the differences are between the Mark 1s and Mark 2s. I get really confused. I'll never tell the difference, really. There's actually another Stag as well, which we'll see later. Austin Healey 3000. I think this is a 64. Yes, it is a 64, and it's a Mark III. Classic colour scheme for these. Another MGA. I think this is just a standard MGA variant, but sort of first one. Next to an MGTD, which is a little bit older. This would be around 1950, something like that. That'll be 58 maybe. So I've got a Triumph Herald 1360 convertible with Mini Light style wheels. I have driven one of these in this exact specification. The only difference between this one and the one I drove was that was a 68 and it was white. It also had Mini Light wheels, but somebody had put a 1.5 engine in it, so it went very fast. This I think has the original 1360 in it. You've got to be a bit careful because you've got no brake servo in this, and you've got a non-synchromesh first, but you know, they're fun nevertheless. Speaking of Mark 1 Stags, here is one. It's actually a different colour from the other one. 7172, first came out in 1970. I actually look at the interior of this one as well. This one's an auto, the other one's actually a manual, so we've got both types here. One little treat here, and I like being part of a local car club because you get to see the sort of variety that people have. It's not just one type of car at all. One of them is this 1974 Ford Escort 1300E. I think they only made a 1300E as a two-door. This is a facelifted one. It's quite a late one because the next year the Mark II came out, which is largely the same underneath. But yeah, it is rather nice that actually. Local plate to the area, of course, like so many of the cars around here. And then a Daimler V8 250. The V8 250 was a Mark II Jaguar shell with the 2.5 litre V8 engine from the Daimler Dart or SP 250, depending on what you want to call it. The V8 250 was the later version. The earlier one was called a 2.5 litre V8. I really like this car actually. It's a beautiful colour and it has a green leather interior. I prefer personally a beige one, but you know, that's just my preference. Right, I will get my instructions into the car so I don't get completely soaked through. I think we've got a Mini City here, 8990. Certainly Mr. Bill from Fuel Power will tell me otherwise because he's much better on these Minis than I am. It looks like a City to me with that interior. Sometimes people fit two fuel tanks to Minis because the fuel tanks are really small. I think those are the original wheels on that as well. That's a bit optimistic, isn't it? So Triumph TR5, or in this case it's a TR250, but it's actually been imported and converted. It'd be about 67, 68, something like that. Paintwork on that is really nice. That's really nice. Like so many of the cars that club members have. Another MGB, this time is 66, so it's much earlier than the other one. I think this is virtually the same colour though. Someone's even put a replica tax disc in there to sort of help me out if I didn't know, which is always good. It's not the really early ones though, those have different door handles on them. And then another MGA, is that 4 MGAs. It's an awful lot of them, isn't it, viewers? This one is also a 1600. See, you don't really get proper door handles and things like that. You have to sort of pull from the inside to get out. The coupes are a bit different. They do actually have exterior door handles. Right, there is one thing I do need to show you as well, viewers, and I have checked, and we can talk about it, so that's obviously a positive thing. 1988 Tolbert Express. This actually is a petrol one, so we can talk about it. Just absolutely remarkable. One of the funniest things I've seen about this is the fact that the fuel filler is right there. It's in the front wing. I think it's because obviously you could buy a chassis cab version of this, but this is a camper like most of them that survive are. The Tolbert Express was the last Tolbert badge vehicle ever made, and it continued all the way through to 1994, which is why the company was called Peugeot Tolbert so late on. These actually have a remarkably high survival rate, considering the reputation of rust. This has had obviously bits of welding and things like that done to it in the past, but it's very fascinating to see something like this. So while we're here, we'll just take a look at the interior. Why not? Take a little look. Look at that. It's ever so 80s, isn't it? It's amazing. And here's another MGA, another 1600. I like this sort of grey colour, that's really nice. And I was talking about the door handles earlier on. There are the door handles on the coupe, very, very unusual. Test Valley Motor Enthusiast sticker. I should actually get one of those myself. That would be appropriate, wouldn't it, for at least one of the cars. But yes, there we go. Right, viewers, as you can see, my navigator today is Roger, so I've decided to take this to the dash so I can actually see, because Roger is an alpaca and he's a bit mute, and his claim to life is that he is still wearing the BMC Legends Show neckband from last year, so I think he's going to not be the most helpful companion, so we'll have to follow these instructions. Hopefully we won't get lost. I do have a sat-nav if necessary. And off we go. I probably won't be filming during the driving bit because I need to concentrate on this piece of paper. That annoying beep from my stereo says that we have arrived at Sir Walter Tyrrell near Reefstone in the New Forest. Roger wasn't really any help at all. He didn't even turn the paper over for me. I had to do that myself. But we managed to go completely right with no deviations, and ooh, there's some rewards for the waiters. The store just decided not to do the whole route, which is fine, doesn't matter. It's got the MGF here and the 2CV Spot. It's a Qashqai that I followed, and I managed to pop myself sensibly for once. I've had some more information about this Skoda 136 Rapid. This was the last batch of these convertibles converted and sold in this country. There are only 7 of them left, which is pretty crazy. A couple of the MGAs have lined up here. Yeah, we've got like 4 in total or something. Tolbert Express with the petrol engine. Don't get run over by that. Then we've got the Healy 3000, which is actually one of the club members' ones, as opposed to the loads that were here from the other club. And the Stag and the Escort. Probably increased in value sort of since they set off, you know, knowing the values of Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escort, for 2 doors. Here's the other MGA. Stands kind of well back of this. so many cars manoeuvring around here. It's funny, we parked in a completely different way from the Healy Club. Yeah, no parking sensors or anything like that. Daimler V8 250. I think it's one of the last of the Healy Club members leaving. Volkswagen bay window. It's a nice comfy ride. And we will pause for a second, viewers, because there's a vehicle that's turned up but we can't discuss. TR8 with the, I think it's the Grinnell body kit has arrived. And the MGTD. Right, how much later was my lunch? I've still got 35 minutes, viewers. It's going to be a bit tricky, but I'm sure we'll manage. We'll come back a little bit. Right, viewers, well, this isn't something I wasn't expecting. So I finished my lunch and I apologise for my phone vibrating again. I forgot to take the aircraft. I forgot to put it in aircraft mode again. But the Healy Club is back. I didn't think they would be, but they are. And look at all this. Did we see this one before? I don't know, maybe. Certainly saw this little Sebring one. And something else has turned up here. What is this? This is on French plates. I think this is Austin 16. I think this is either immediately pre or post-war. There we go, look at that. The insurance certificate, so it's French registered. It's quite a sort of nice selection of stuff in this car park now. There's one of the club members leaving in the MG8. And they're leaving in the TD as well. So it's seem to block each other in like that. Isn't that funny? So yes, a most enjoyable drive-it day down in Hampshire. So thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video, leave a comment below. And we shall see you again soon for more incorrect information.